Leg 4 of 7 of the Tour de Ski. They're not quite halfway, but after 2.5 kilometres they will be, because this is the women's 5 kilometre classic style in Italy, the north of Italy. Been told off for calling it Toblach Dobbiaco. I guess it should be either or, but if you just say Toblach, you upset those who call it Dobbiaco. If you just say Dobbiaco, it's the other way round. So the early starters are underway. Laura Mononen of Finland just waiting to get her starting orders. The time expected for the 5 kilometres, judging by the men's race, we should be well under the 15-minute mark. Let's say something around 13 minutes for the women's 5K. Good strong field. We'll update you on all the withdrawals from the Tour de Ski. 52 starters, with, of course, Marit Bjørgen, the tour leader, going off last of all. Some of the favourites still out doing their warm-up. I guess there are some who have still got to decide which skis they're going to use today. I can't see any of the women deciding to double pole the whole way. We saw that in the men's race, and it certainly paid off for a few. Very quick on the descent back into the stadium, but I wonder whether they'll recover in time for tomorrow's long-distance race. Jessie Diggins, below par so far this year, but still a real fighter. Wearing number 13, Jessie Diggins from Stratton Mountain School. The Americans have made big moves, but as a few of you have pointed out to us in our emails, they seem to have fallen away a little this year. I wonder how much of it is due to the fact that Keegan Randall isn't on her very best form. She seemed to be the catalyst for success in the American team. Let's see what Jessie Diggins can do up to the first split point at 1.7. That's not bad. She's only 2.7 outside. It's only a 5 kilometre race, so Diggins very much in there, particularly if she can show her downhill skills on the way back towards the stadium. Shapovalova for Russia, a nice looking technique, using the skis well, seems to have very good grip on the skis with some decent glide, and she's inside. We see a new fastest time just under that 3:57 marker. This corner crucial, no point taking a wide line. And of course on the corners you are permitted to put in just a couple of skating steps. 22, Stephanie Böhler of Germany. That's a positive start from her, looking to improve her position in the Tour standings. We'll update you on those as well. Mike Dixon, Patrick Winston with you throughout the Tour de Ski this year. Really looking forward to the finale. But we've got today's race, plus of course a long distance race here tomorrow. And then we head to Val di Fiemme for the final 2 races over the weekend. So a day off on Friday, and Mike, the athletes are going to appreciate that.
They really are. 2 intense days, the sprints yesterday, today this, the 5 kilometre, and it's an intense race. It's not a big distance, but it's so intense because the margins are so tiny. They have to push so hard.
Saarinen, a Finnish veteran. It's not been a brilliant tour for Saarinen. After we saw her start in the prologue with an incredible burst of energy, she doesn't seem to have recovered from that 5 days later.
She looked so good. I was thinking, great to see her back in form. She is on good form, but not where she has been in the past on this Tour de Ski. Giloinen also a little bit off form, as the wonder skier is just preparing herself in the warm-up pen, Bjørgen.
Yeah, nice to see that you get your own rucksack with your name embroidered on it. The Norwegians don't do anything by halves.
Good to see the technique here, Moonen, in the rotation of the hip. It allows the body to get straight line over the waxing pocket of the ski to compress it down onto the track and make the grippy stick wax in the middle of the ski make contact with the snow and push you up the hill.
Yeah, it's a pendular action, isn't it, from Mononen. Others have a slightly more positive drive, which I sometimes think is a good thing. It's a nice fluent style.
I think it would be viewed as expending too much energy, that bobbing. You're using more energy than you need when we compare it to Bjørgen later.
Yeah, certainly very much in contrast to the German style. Who was that? Was that Hager warming up? I don't think it was Therese Johaug, as we see Denise Herrmann going off the line for Germany. And she's had some good races in her career. Can she claw back a few places today? Remember, 52 starters. Let's just go through the top seeds, top positions in the Tour de Ski as we watch number 20, that's Maria Rydquist, coming up towards the 1.7. Bjørgen leads the Tour. She's got a lead of 1:11.2 over Heidi Weng, and Bjørgen is 2 minutes exactly ahead of Therese Johaug, 2:10 ahead of Østberg. So Norway 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the Tour at the moment, and they've got number 5 with Ragnhild Haga, who's 2:42 behind. Kowalczyk 2:52, almost 3 minutes behind. Can she come back from that, remembering we've still got 4 races to go?
Can she come back? Today is her strength. She's won 20 times in the classic 10 kilometre. It is Johaug running around in the warm-up pen. It's -5, -6 here. But Kowalczyk, Patrick, she needs to pick up a victory to gain the 15 seconds bonus to stand a slim chance of making it into the top 3, I think, in the Tour de Ski.
Yeah, Kowalczyk needs a lead going into the final day because she will not be the quickest. She's got to get ahead of Therese Johaug for the final day. Technically, she's not good enough on that big hill climb. And her and Bjørgen produce similar times on the Alpe Chemise.
Oh, I think she'll be off that of Bjørgen's this year. I think she'll be some, 15, 20 seconds slower in her skating up on the final 9 kilometre day.
So Kowalczyk's got 3 races to pull back 3 minutes because she needs to be on level terms at the start of the final day.
It's a tough task.
It's a tough task.
An impossible task.
I think it's an impossible task. But she is, of course, going for her 5th title. All the athletes confined to the pen before the start. Only a few minutes to go, but for those starting later on, it can be a little bit restrictive, and the warm-up's such a vital part of the race, particularly here where you come out of the stadium and you start climbing.
Immediately start climbing, and that's why you need that warm-up. They've been out on the tracks, now they're keeping the bodies warm, and sharp reactive actions to make sure they get off the start line fast.
Devatolis coming in, she'll give us what could be the next landmark, the next time to aim for. 13:54 starting from Martin Troppanin of Italy. I think Devatolis is just going to get inside. She does. And we come down to 13:52. We will be getting down closer to 13:30, I think, by the end of today.
Well, maybe even faster when you think the form that Bjørgen's in. I was thinking at the start of the race we might be looking around 12 minutes, but that's a big task for even Bjørgen to get around there.
Justina Kowalczyk hidden under there. She sounds fairly relaxed. It is a big day for her if she wants title number 5, or has she resigned herself to the fact that it's just not going to happen today? Denise Herrmann for Germany up to 1.7. Still another 3.3 to go from here, but at least 2 kilometres are downhill.
And no major technical downhill, so I think this track profile plays into Justina Kowalczyk's hand, unlike 2 days ago when we were in Oberhof and slightly longer distance. The technical downhills really made her struggle, so this is her favourite course, I think.
8.5 inside for Grefnings, and she'll be delighted with that. That's a really good race by the Swedes, and might be an indication that Sweden have cracked the wax, as they say. Emma Viken will certainly be going over to Grefnings and saying, what have you got on the base of your skis, and hoping that she can do the same. Viken, of course, from Osana. I think that's just northeast of Falun.
Or is it not south of Falun? I'm not sure.
No, I think it's
been
north.
There. Long time ago.
Kiloinen.
We haven't seen the best of Kiloinen. Is she saving it for the World Championships? Her sprinting's a little down. Her good classic, well, it's certainly up today, but these are early starters.
In theory, the times should get quicker and quicker as they've put the highest ranked athletes last on the list, and that's why the last 5 starters, or last 5 seeded starters, will all be from Norway. They put a non-seed in between each of the seeds just to spread them out, just so we don't miss them as they come through the split points. And Kuzyakova, third place, 2.5. She can make that up on the way down.
A little slipping there, Kuzyakova going round that bend, or leading into the bend. Junior world champion.
Oh, very close indeed, but Stadlova gains position, goes into top spot for now. Just 0.9 inside the previous best time. So the first 10 finished, and we've still got some 20 athletes to go off the start line. Emma Viken chasing Nicole Fessel, who started number 36. Fessel failing to qualify for the top 30 in the sprint yesterday. That really ruined her chance of doing something special in the Tour this year.
So much to lose, isn't it? If you win it like Bjørgen did yesterday, she picks up a minute. If you don't make that top 30, you're automatically a minute behind.
Do you think the winner today will come out of a group that will come from someone who didn't qualify for the final stages of the sprint?
Well, that's interesting, because in the men's race earlier that was the case. Yes, the big names were close, but I think it's an advantage. But in the women's field, we've just got these incredible names that are head and shoulders above the rest, with Bjørgen, Weng, Johaug, Østberg.
Okay, so you're expecting or accepting that the Norwegians are going to win. For me, the question is, what can Johaug do? Johaug has been absolutely brilliant in classic races over recent years, and is very difficult to beat. Heidi Weng, I think, is the one we want to watch very closely. In comes Shapovalova. This is a fantastic time, and that's going to be tough to beat. She's knocked the margin down by a full 30 seconds. That's astonishing skiing from Shapovalova of Russia, and she obviously takes the lead. Just looking at the previous split times, Mike, Shapovalova's time has been beaten by Kaloinen and Herman and Kuzyakova at the early stages, so even that may not stand for that long. Anna Haag of Sweden. No Charlotte Keller on the Tour this year. That's a disappointment, but we understand why.
Yeah, the World Championships, Falun maybe taking over that. And there are races up there this weekend which Kala will be taking part in. Of course, we're talking earlier, I think that Justyna Kowalczyk does have a chance today, certainly of a top 3. Here she is.
3 minutes, remember, or just under the margin that Justyna Kowalczyk has to try and close down on the rest of the field. A very fast start by Justyna Kowalczyk as we watch Saarinen of Finland coming in across the line. She's already outside that time by Shapovalova, who was 30 seconds quicker than anyone else. So it's still possible that Saarinen will slip into second place ahead of Stadlova. She does that, and I think she'll be reasonably satisfied with that. But it's not been the best of tours for Saarinen. Here we go with Nicole Fessel, in a position to climb back up the order. Can she get herself back into the top 5 of the Tour standings today? 1.7 off Kiloinen's time.
Must have been great for Fessel, racing at home in Oberstdorf. A good feeling. The spectators, the crowds were right behind her, and it did make a difference.
44. Ragnhild Haga got herself on the podium in the first event of the Tour in Oberstdorf, in the prologue event. That was a big moment for her, her first ever podium finish. I like the fact that Heidi Weng and Johaug, when interviewed afterwards, they said the highlight for them was the fact that Haga had got her first podium finish. Marit Bjørgen was concerned with thanking the technicians.
She's just having a little week of thanking everybody, Bjørgen, because life is so good for her right now. And I think this course has to suit Marit Bjørgen, because there is a lot of upper body power on this track. Flat stadium start, then the undulating terrain back down into the stadium really suits her. Yeah, and the hills aren't quite steep enough or long enough for Therese Johaug to take advantage. Well, Therese Johaug is going to be brilliant here. Her tempo is going to be just, well, on full throttle up this section. Surely Therese is going to set some of the fastest markers.
Well, here's Osberg, who finished third yesterday. I guess she will have been slightly surprised and slightly disappointed that she allowed Heidi Weng to beat her in the closing stages of the sprint. But she's had a very good tour so far, Osberg, and an exciting race. A starting 46. She's got obviously Ragnhild Haga to chase, but she'll also get time splits on Justyna Kowalczyk. Now, that might be a bit optimistic because Osberg is not as good a classic skier as Kowalczyk. Johaug, well, she has every right to claim that she's as good as Kowalczyk. I'm just fascinated to see what Johaug can do today. She will be the next big name away. And then Heidi Weng, and then Marit Bjørgen. Just Sadie Bjørnsen.
Looking good. Girl from Alaska.
The American men were off the mark this morning, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the women's team much stronger here in the American flag, or under the American flag.
OK, all eyes on Therese Johaug. Let's see how she starts this race. Here she goes. She's going to be doing this for the next 5 kilometres. It's going to take her something around 13 minutes. She might even beat that 13-minute marker. Heidi Weng, she's not a new name, but she's a new star, a rising star in the Norwegian team. And my goodness, she looks eager. She looks like a wolf trying to stalk her prey. She will be going after Therese Johaug. A minute between them. The maths are easy. The coaches will give her every single split she needs.
That was such a steely look down the line. She was just so focused to push herself to limit. Nearly 10 seconds, Kowalczyk.
Well, that's a good start from Kowalczyk. And if she keeps that going, she could claw back. Well, as we said, she's got to make 3 minutes up in the next 3 races. So today, tomorrow, and then on Saturday, Heidi Weng. Are we going to see more fireworks from her? Or did the fact that she got through to the final of the sprint and finished in second take a lot out of her? It has to have done something. Johaug, of course, had a relative rest compared to Weng and Bjørgen in yesterday's race. Kaloinen holds on to the lead and deposes Shapovalova. The race lead time now comes down to 13:08.3.
Run home easier on this course, 2.2 kilometres, mostly uphill climb and then undulating terrain back down. Bjørgen, she'll be wanting a maximum effort over every millimetre of the terrain.
So Finland, Russia, Finland on the podium positions at the moment. But this lady and her teammates have either got to start or they're all yet to finish. 6-time Olympic champion, 87 World Cup victories. It goes on and it goes on and it goes on, and her getting to 100 wins is almost inevitable, certainly if she can keep this sort of form going. But as Uliane Bjørndalen is finding, getting to 100 is not as easy as you might think.
You just feel the momentum that Bjørgen has. The form that she's in at the moment is probably the best she's ever been in, and she's destroying the rest of the field here so far.
Third for Denise Herrmann at the moment. So here's Osberg, and she's 5.8 outside. That's actually a very good time when you compare it to Justyna Kowalczyk. I certainly would have thought she would have been 10 seconds behind. So Osberg on a high at the moment, going very well indeed. Maybe she's still thinking in terms of finishing in the top 3 of the Tour. But here comes Therese Johaug after Kowalczyk's time of 3:39.3 at 1.7. Kowalczyk still descending to the stadium. She's got a massive lead of 12 seconds over Kaloinen at the last split point, but still has a little way to go. Is Johaug inside? Still some way to go. 3:39.3 is the marker. You can see the red timing wand on the left of the track up there. It's going to be very, very tight, but I think the advantage just swinging slightly towards Kowalczyk, but only just. Oh,
marginal.
0.7 of a second. Johaug started well, but it's not her time between Kowalczyk that it's relevant, Mike. It's all about whether she can beat some time or knock some time off Weng and Bjørgen.
It is. It's Weng, Bjørgen, and I thought that was a good start from Johaug, and she was back to her better, longer reaching stride. She had to kind of run 2 days ago because her wax was not good. The grip was poor under her skis.
Kuziakova just coming in front of Stadloba, some 29.5 off the pace set by Anne Kiloinen. The Finns had a really good run. We got two Finns in the top four at the moment. Saarinen still sitting in fourth place. Now, here comes Heidi Weng. We've got Weng and then, of course, Bjørgen to come through, and then all the top seeds have been through 1.7.
Weng is going to be certainly behind Johaug by my calculation. I wonder, because Johaug didn't make it through to the finals, has that given her something over the main contenders today? They've got to be tired. Yesterday, 4 times around the 1.4 kilometre sprint track at maximum pace.
Well, 8.8 behind, and she's 8 seconds behind Therese Johaug, and in the Tour standings she's 49 seconds ahead of Therese Johaug, so Weng should be able to hold on to a top 3 slot. Now, what about Marit Bjørgen? Still 30 seconds to go, and we'll see the 50-metre marker fairly shortly when the camera pans round to the other angle. I'm not sure that Marit Bjørgen is matching Kowalczyk here, Mike, but the margin won't be big enough for Kowalczyk to be able to start celebrating.
No, but this is powerful once again. The arms are being fully used. The great dynamic drive through the legs. It's going to be very tight, which is bad news, I think, for Kowalczyk, because the rest of the terrain, I think Bjørgen will be a little faster.
Well, Kowalczyk is safe in top spot. Johaug stays second, Marit Bjørgen into third, 1.6 outside, and if she comes down, well, that's she's taken half a second out of Kowalczyk on that corner alone. Brilliant skiing there from Marit Bjørgen. How important is to get the win? The bonuses are on hand today, 15, 10 and 5 for first, second and third. No one else gets anything. Marit Bjørgen 1.6 behind. When she hears that, she's going to go ballistic, because if she wins this, it means it's 4 out of 4.
Which has, well, never been done before, and it gives her a huge advantage leading into the final 3 days.
Anna Haag looking to go into the podium places. She just makes it ahead of Denise Herrmann. Good finish from Anna Haag, but Kiloinen remains the #1 at the moment. But if we look at the first split point, Mike, we've got Poland leading, Norway in second, third, fourth and fifth, and then we have Kiloinen down in 6th place. Is Kowalczyk going to get her first win on the Tour this year?
I would love to see her win today.
Well, she leads at the 1.7. Still some way to go. Remember, it's 5,000 metres in all, 5 kilometres, 339.3. Everyone is through 1.7, so that will not change.
Hat seine gute Leistung, beste Deutsche momentan im Ziel ist Herrmann, 13:21, das wird eng mit Herrmann für Nicole Fessel.
Nicole Fessel, margin of 13, 14 seconds, and look how tight it is between third and fifth. She just squeezes in ahead of Saarinen. So that's a good run from Fessel. And that really just underlines the importance of qualifying in the sprint yesterday, because she lost valuable ground, dropped out of the top 5 of the Tour rankings. Next of the big names to finish, Emma Viken of Sweden coming down the home straight now. Now, is this going to be inside? 13:08.3. It is going to be inside, and it could be 4 or 5 seconds. She's got advantage over the rest. 6 seconds for Emma Viken. Great skiing for Sweden, and I think that's the race of the season for Emma.
And every single race she seems to get just that little bit faster. Of course, she's fatigued, but the self-confidence is growing every stride she takes.
Great news And I wonder whether she'll say, OK, that's my form regained. I'll take a rest from the Tour and wait and save my very best for the World Championships at home.
Well, great news for Viken, slightly bad news for Kowalczyk at our second marker. Bjørgen has just gone ahead of her by 0.5 of a second, but Johaug is still 1 second behind Kowalczyk.
So the top three separated by 1.5. What distance is that, Mike, on the race? It's the penultimate split point at 2.1.
It is at 2.1, so still a long way to go, and undulating terrain to go back into the stadium, but we've got no more split times out there.
So Marit Bjørgen has picked up 2.2 seconds on the very first bit of downhill, and in fact the downhill here isn't hard enough for Kowalczyk to lose time, but there are 1 or 2 corners that you step round.
It's just these tight corners, unlike the start when they went out of the start gate. Kowalczyk lost about, by my calculations, a half a second on that first start corner.
Sadie Bjørnsen fast becoming the #1 star in the American team. Great work from her, and she will have seen her brother in action earlier on this morning. As I mentioned, the American men a little bit below par.
And Bjørgen's going to, Kowalczyk's going to be in about 35 seconds. Well, here she is, 35 seconds time.
Number 42, Justyna Kowalczyk in the black suit, as you can see. She's gone past Sara Lindberg, who started 30 seconds ahead of her. So she's now taken, 30.5 out of the Swede as she comes into the home straight. 13.02 is the time she's after. She had a decent lead over Viken when she went through the last split point at 1.2. In fact, she was some 14 seconds clear. Viken has had a sensational return to the stadium. Unbelievable pacing from her. And Kowalczyk fading yet again. 3.8. Quickest to the top, slowest to the bottom. It's not a formula for winning World Cups anymore.
It's a real pity. She's got the engine for the uphills, but and it depends. Maybe she's gone for really grippy wags to get her up that hill fast, which does play around with your glide factor on the way back down the hills. I think she'll be very disappointed with that performance.
Well, let's see what the Norwegians can do on the way down. We will not get any more splits between 2.1 and 5 kilometres. We could do with one at around 4 kilometres, Mike, so we can see who's putting in the best sprint finish. But we haven't got that here today.
Well, Viken has turned around over 14 seconds on Kowalczyk from our last day, 2.7 kilometre mark point.
Now, Bjørgen, slightly heavier than Therese Johaug, should gain a few seconds on the way down. Here comes Ragnhild Haga, another of the new names coming up in the Norwegian squad. She's a long way outside Viken's time, and in fact she wasn't anywhere near it at the early stages, so we've got to wait and see what Weng and Johaug can do. And of course, don't forget Østberg. Østberg still lying in 5th position at the start of the descent to the stadium.
And Haga, she's going to be good. She's still only 23, 2 gold medals at junior championships. She is a star in the making.
But born in 1991, so she's only 23.
32 seconds off. Over 5Ks, it's quite a margin.
She has a look over the shoulder. She's waiting to see Østberg come in. Now, I can tell you that Østberg had a 3-second lead over the current leader, Emma Viken, at the top of the climb. So this is a really good indication of what Viken has done. And you can see it already, that Viken's taken some 80 metres out of Østberg on the descent alone. So it's an astonishing run by Viken. And I think, once again, we need to congratulate the technicians, because this is where the ski speed is so important. 12.3 the margin. Wow. I think Viken might well end up the winner today, or is Johaug going to prove me wrong very quickly? She's still got 150 metres to go round the final bend for Therese Johaug, desperately trying to reduce that gap of 2 minutes between herself and the Tour leader Marit Bjørgen. Into the last 100 now for Johaug, and this is looking good. She's held strong in the closing stages. Johaug had a lead of 13 seconds over Viken at the start. It's going to be close, but I think Johaug's going to claim the top spot. Bonus seconds coming her way without a doubt. 3 seconds in it, just 3 seconds in it, and the Swedes stay second. Well, it will be nice to see another nationality on the podium.
It certainly will, and that's pushed Kowalczyk down to 3rd, and we just expect when Bjørgen comes in very soon, it's going to push Kowalczyk down 1 more position.
Østberg there, number 46. Johaug. It will only take her 30 seconds to recover, but what a fantastic effort from Johaug. Here comes Heidi Weng now. Heidi Weng still on 30. Now, I think she's behind Johaug by, what, 4 or 5 meters, despite the fact that, well, in fact, she was 6 seconds. At 2.1, she was 6 seconds down on Johaug. So Heidi Weng, I don't think she's going to lose her runners-up position in the Tour de Ski, but she's certainly not going to win here today. Johaug on 12:59.3 is safe, and that means that Viken is probably safe. Only 3 seconds between Johaug and Viken as Weng comes into the finish. Is she going to get second? Oh, she does. Good finishing speed. 0.7 in it. Well, just as I said, it would be nice to see a Swede on the podium. We've only got one to finish, one of the big names. It is, of course, Marit Bjørgen, and here she comes. She needs 35 to get round the final corner. She's 10 seconds ahead. She's miles ahead. Another dominant performance by Marit Bjørgen. Unless, of course, Mike, the camera picked her up early, but I think she's got plenty of time in hand.
Yes, home straight coming up, 28 seconds to go. So it is, again, a Norwegian 1-2-3 we'd expect, although she needs to keep the pace up.
So it means that that lead she has is going to grow to around 1 minute 20 seconds at the very least. Another 10-second margin, so it should be closer to 1 minute 30, if not 1 minute 40 at the end of today. 4 legs of a 7-leg tour race, and Marit Bjørgen has won all 4. Well, now, can she do 7 out of 7? She can't. She's never going to produce the fastest time on the Alpe d'Huez, surely.
I wouldn't expect it with Therese Johaug hunting her down, whether it's 3 minutes, 4 minutes behind her, who knows, but she can do no wrong. Marit Bjørgen is absolutely on fire, and she's turned around another 23 seconds on Heidi Weng, who's second place.
A little bit of silver clister on the bottom of the skis, a short waxing area. What you can notice from that, Mike, is that the waxing seems to stop just in front of the heel. She hasn't brought the wax any further back, and throughout the race the wax will have tracked back just a little.
It would have dragged back down with this machine-made snow. It's quite aggressive snow, and again the Norwegian technicians getting it perfect. She'll praise them again in the interview.
Well, she's got new skis. The race skis will be back in the hut and protected like gold dust. Let's hear what she has to say. Thanks to the technicians, great skis, feeling good.
All right, Marit, your 5th victory in 5 races. In fact, your 5th in 6 days. Let's see, we'll try a new question today. Did you ever think about double pulling the whole course?
Yeah, I was thinking about it when I said the guys was going, but I heard the Norwegian guys say it's not so big difference. So, but I'm really happy. The shape is good, and yeah, and I don't get tired, so yeah, I feel the perfect shape, and yeah, incredible actually.
Well, congratulations on the victory, and we look forward to more good results tomorrow.
I hope so, thanks.
Well, that was interesting, and the interviewer briefed to try and prevent the answers of great skis, great legs. Of course she's in good shape, we can see that. Mentally she seems to have an advantage over everyone else, Mike. She has this advantage of starting last. You can't take that away from her. When you're at the top, you should be getting the advantage.
You earn that, I suppose you earn that advantage by being the best as this tour unfolds, and you're given the information ahead of you. You still have to work and be focused like she is. She's focused like never before, and what an athlete.
And remember, on the final day of the tour, if she is leading, which looks inevitable, she will have to start first, and then everyone else can chase her and see how easy that is. I think they might find it very, very tough indeed. 12:48.5 the winning time. It's another massive margin. It's only a 5k race. She's 10 seconds ahead of the next best. Johaug in second, getting some revenge on Heidi Weng, who beat her yesterday convincingly in the sprints. Emma Viken, a really good race and a really good finish pushed by Viken to finish fourth. Sadly not on the podium today. Further down, we've had the success stories. What about the disasters, Mike?
Well, you further back down, a few disappointments. I think the most disappointed will be Kowalczyk. She knew she had to win today to pick up 15 seconds.
She's lost another 22 seconds. In fact, she's lost more. She's lost 32 seconds to Bjørgen.
She really tried. She had the fastest time on the uphill part of this course, but that's like Saarinen, I think, now, a little better today in 13th.
Yeah, so Kowalczyk now 3:32 behind, something like that?
Maybe more.
Too many. Too many. She's got no chance. Bjørgen, the hot favourite to win the Tour this year. She's won here in Italy today with another dominant performance. So just a few moments. I hope we've got time to hang around for the standings in the Tour de Ski. We left very early before the men's as well.
We did. I think there should be about 135 ahead, or 134.
Here we go, 134.3. We'll accept that level of accuracy. Heidi Weng in runners-up position. Johaug now 2:16. So Johaug beating Weng today, but not closing the gap significantly. And a big race tomorrow. It's a pursuit start, so Bjørgen will be starting first in that. And I guess the pacing will be a little bit harder. At least Weng will know what they've got to do. It's a freestyle race, Mike. Marit Bjørgen tends to be a little bit stronger in those. Now let's have a look in the overall World Cup standings. No surprises that Marit Bjørgen leads. She's closing in on a 400-point gap this early in the season. And remember, if you win the Tour de Ski, you get 400 straight points. So it could be the biggest accumulation of points in a World Cup season that we've ever seen coming up from Marit Bjørgen. It certainly looks that way at the moment. But can she keep this sort of form going? Can she keep it going until the World Championships in Falun?
It's a tough one. When you're in such peak form at the moment, how do you keep hold of that? Of course, the rest of the world will be trying to close her down, if that's possible.
So let's look at the top three. Heidi Weng, she looked eager on the line. She skied very, very well indeed. It was a good descent from Heidi Weng. A little bit off the pace at the top, but she came back strongly to claim a top three finish. She might even have been the fastest down the hill. Therese Johaug, well, she had the quickest 50 metres off the starting line. That's absolutely certain. A weakness?
I thought she was good today. Her weakness was the descending. She had the second fastest uphill climb, so technically losing it on the descent, but not by much.
And Marit Bjørgen, what can you say? Sensational. Is it boring? For some, I guess it is, but we're watching a legend here, and we've just got to enjoy her while she is on her very best form. I know she's been around for a long time, but I don't think we've ever seen her ski this consistently, race after race after race. 4 races in the Tour de Ski, she's won all 4 of them, and has a very commanding lead indeed in the Tour standings. 30 seconds over Heidi Weng, and of course Therese Johaug now over 2 minutes behind Marit Bjørgen, and Johaug is the defending champion. That's all from the Tour de Ski. We'll be back tomorrow with more. We're going longer in the freestyle technique tomorrow.